On the short tracks, too. The won 3 of the last 6 at Salem. Also has a win at Iowa on his ARCA resume.
We can see that inside line is gained about a car. Oh, trouble already.
Through the tri-oval. 78 goes around. The 98, their teammates. It's a big one at Daytona. It all started when the 78 of Cole Powell got turned sideways. Gus Dean had nowhere to go and under caution early here at the World Center of Racing.
This is exactly what these guys didn't want to do. They wanted to get some laps under their belt, just feel these things out here. A lot of damage to a lot of vehicles.
How about Bobby Gerhart? 8 wins here at Daytona. On 2 different occasions, he's won 3 in a row. See Terry Jones from Canada in the 30. Got a little bit of damage. Austin Wayne Self in the 33. He was a runner-up a year ago.
There's Mark Thompson. We talked about Mark Thompson with an opportunity maybe to become the oldest winner. He has some damage.
And now the red flag has been displayed at Daytona, just 3 laps in.
Looks like Austin Wayne Self running across the racetrack. We're going to stop the field over on the backstretch to give the track workers time to clean this mess up.
Yeah, they stopped him right over at the entrance of turn 3. Some of the biggest names, no doubt some pre-race favorites for this race, involved in the crash. There's the 59, Jairo Avila, involved in the accident.
Great to see him get out of that car. That's one of the 4 cars from Carlos Lira.
There's Gus Dean.
One of the Mason Mitchell Motorsports entries.
Our Carrier Corporation on board, giving us so many good pictures prior to today's race. We did not want to see it, giving us the shot of him climbing out prematurely, but unfortunately, tough luck for the South Carolina native, and there's his teammate, Cole Powell, out of Ontario.
Yeah, Cole had a 3rd place finish last year at Talladega. He finished 20th here. See Shane Lee, the Lee Boy car.
Yeah, one of our rookies.
One of our rookies with quite a bit of damage. Watch about 3 or 4 lines back. The 78 definitely moved to the inside. Don't know if he had any help. Maybe it turned him sideways right into his teammate. The 98 of Gus Dean had pushed him back up the racetrack right in front of the pack.
Look at Kevin Thomas Jr. in that 22, gets minimal damage, middle of your screen. This is a kid that had never raced on a facility bigger than a half mile prior to today, and that was a pretty nice save by him.
You can't tell from that angle whether the 78 got a little bit of contact that turned him around down into the inside line where he collected his teammate, Gus Dean. See all these drivers, and you see all that smoke. It's way worse from racetrack level.
Think about Greg Alding, Frank Kimmel, some of those drivers. Brett Hudson would have started right in the middle of the pack, probably been collected, dropped to the rear, and I don't think any of them got any damage.
Boy, it almost looked like there might have been a little bit of contact right there to turn that 78 sideways. If there would have been an opening down to the inside, he probably would have got away with it, but not this early in the race.
On board
no
with
openings.
Gus Dean. That's Cole Powell on the outside.
Look at the rear of that car. Look how close the 83 is. Derek Lancaster. Definitely contact from behind that sent him down across the racetrack.
That's unfortunate because those cars have been fast, not only this weekend, but were really good when we tested here in January. See what it looked like from the view of Sarah Cornett-Ching on board here.
Dylan Lupton, the 82, to her inside. She just blipped the throttle for just a second, and that quickly she was by the incident. See her waving out the window to the cars behind her.
And look at all the cars way back behind them that were able to avoid the accident because they were not up right in the middle of the draft. Oh no.
See how close the 55 of Byron and the 05 got of John West Townley. Got to make sure you give Mark Thompson some room down there. There's some contact. They're not going to are they going to survive this?
They are not. We got one on the wall. Second caution of the day. And among those involved, The 83 of Derek Lancaster got a piece of the action. Mark Thompson, and look at that. Matt Kurziewski thought that was him in that outside lane.
It really causes anxious moments when you lap a car like that. You have to give that guy room down there. You want to stay tucked up with a car in front of you, and you want to stay pretty close to that inside. They didn't give Mark enough room, it didn't look like, and this is the result.
Really the first time we had seen cars drift up to that third lane. You just talked about it. They've not used it. They were forced to because of the slower vehicle, Mark Thompson, and it just didn't work out into turn one.
See, all these guys want to try to get down as low as they can. The 83 of Lancaster made contact with the 66 of Thompson, and Mark tried his best to save that car, but had to use a little bit more racetrack to do it. See, they've already made a little bit of contact. You see Dylan, somehow he's going to avoid that. He was right second in the middle of that in the 82 car, and somehow was able to get around those guys.
So Mark Thompson was 3 laps down. They tried to get around him. It didn't work out. And as you can see, Matt Kurziewski among those that have climbed from their vehicles after our second caution of the day.
Stayed out, they would have bought so much more insurance of fuel. But now we've got the caution. Tom Hessett, you see, with some damage, left rear tires down. Looks like he may have got into the wall. And that's going to take that all out the window. Everyone's going to be able to come to pit road now. Tough break for Tom Hessert, though.
Hessert qualified inside the top 5. He pitted at lap 25 and was running in the 19th position when he had his issue. Third caution of the day. A perfect opportunity for Cole Custer, John West Townley, Sean Core, Brett Hudson, all who were going to have to make a stop. And there you see the debris off the car of Tom Hessert.
Yeah, it looked like Tom may have run over something. Remember, he was the first guy to jump up into that third lane. We've had a couple incidents where there's been a bunch of speedy dry and a lot of debris that the track workers have picked up. So he could have run over something. Did a nice job, I'm sure, keeping that car out of the wall. Watch him. You see, he probably felt like he had a problem because he dropped behind the pack. You see that tire come apart there. Look at that. Wow, around it goes.
Let's go on board with Tom Hessert and listen as he goes to turn 3.
You can hear him a little bit before it actually went. He did an amazing job. Got completely sideways. Did an amazing job of not getting into the outside wall with that car.